Hi, this is Chris Frew with BioBuzz at the QNova LifeSciences Partnering Forum as part of JP Morgan Healthcare Week. And I'm excited to sit down today with Rich Moran. Rich, thanks for joining me
Hi,
on the
Chris. Great.
conversation.
Yeah, great to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah,
Oh, my pleasure. Well, I understand you and Jim know each other well. Can you just give the audience a little brief introduction?
sure. I've known, some people think Jim and I went to high school together, but we didn't. But we've known each other for a long time, and we work well together because in QNova Capital, Jim is the science guy, and I'm the venture capital guy. I've been in venture capital for a long time, so uh, it's some people call me the spunky comic relief, but it's more like I can discern deals and what's going to be successful in a positive way.
That's a good tack to have. And I think a lot of people would find it refreshing to have a spunky investor.
Spunky. Well, one of the things that I think happens in investing is uh, it's a crime because the entrepreneur comes to the investor and they're so full of passion and they're so excited, and then they never hear anything back, good or bad, and that just makes you crazy. And I think uh, it it can be. It doesn't have to be that way. I think that entrepreneurs can hear from investors, and even if it's no, they'd rather hear that. And I think if it's yes, all the better. But if it's no, let them know.
I think that's great. Well, can you tell us a little about QNova Capital, just the thesis, and just to kind of set the stage?
Yeah, QNova Capital is all about uh, early stage life sciences, and we focus on de-risked deals because we work with QNova LifeSciences, who are doing a lot of the de-risking, and we focus on speed to exit. So those are the two, sort of the numerator and denominator. Has it been diligenced by QNova LifeSciences, and will something good happen in the short term? We're not going to build companies. We are not in it uh, in making an investment and hoping we'll get a return in 20 years. I'm way too old for that. So it's more about making an investment now that will generate some results in 2 years.
And QNova, from a de-risking platform, that's one of it. But to have an investment plan like that, you have to have some other signals you can look at.
Yeah.
And I assume part of it is the deal flow as well. So what are some of the things that you're doing to kind of support that?
Well, I basically operate based on two questions. One is, what is it? And the second thing is, how big can it be? So I like verbs. When I hear somebody say our company or our technology kills or addresses or treats, I know we can't use the word cure, but the verb is very important. What is that verb? Because that's going to address what happens after that. And then the sort of the object of the sentence is, how big can it be? So is it, something like our technology, you know, addresses baldness? I mean, that's big. That's a big market.
I
And
buy it.
sorry, I should have looked
No,
before I
it's
said
quite all
that.
right.
I should have but that's a big market.
Yeah.
So in one sentence, I know what it is, I know how big it can be, and I want to hear the story.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I love that. Um, you know, startup, the science piece is important. The business plan, path to market, the exitability is important. Talent's also a really important thing. I mean, I hear all the time it's one of the most important thing in the company is the person, the people.
Leadership, yeah.
What do you think about that? And how important is talent to the success of the startup?
Well, I think any experienced venture capitalist is going to say, when the question is it the technology or the team? What do you invest in? It's always the team. Because lots of times the technology, there's a pivot, the market changes, the politics change, the FDA changes. So, but if the team is solid and can make pivots, that's what you want. And I think it's also, remember, when an investor makes an investment, it's like getting married. I mean, you have to sort of know how to work together. And if you know right away that it's going to be a rocky marriage, then don't go through that pain and suffering. So it's always the team, and lots of times it's the combination of the science and the business person, the engineer and the marketing. It's always Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak.
Mhm.
I mean, it's it never varies, far from that.
The
So
scientist and the
yeah,
investor,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
the
yeah,
engineer and the market, the guru.
yeah.
So that's what we look for, and I think I've alluded to it, but we look for the story.
Mhm.
What can the founders tell a great story about what this is and how big it can be? And if that happens, then all the better.
Yeah, and we were talking a little bit beforehand. You're a workforce guy as well. So the talent is some. What are some things that you're seeing in the talent landscape now? Some whether trends or insights to what's happening right now
Yeah,
that you can share.
um, the talent landscape is complicated now, and looking for jobs is complicated, and finding talent is complicated. And where does AI fit in? And I keep on reading that the day of the English major is coming back, and because they're the ones who can write and solve problems, which is good news for me. Maybe I'll finally be able to get a real job as an English major. Um, but I think the basic skills about listening and about uh, being able to clarify problems. I've always, my super skill is not in technology, it's being able to clarify problems. And I think a good education will help you understand that what's important. And so you clarify the problems, then you create options, and then you pick one of the options. That's what you that's what a good founder does.
Yeah. I was talking to a VP at a large pharma who is integrating a lot of new AI into the company, right? So this is obviously a hot topic. And one of the things that they told me was expertise is more important now, or equally as important now with AI, because there's a lot of people that are scared, like, is AI going to take my job? And his statement was, with AI, I care more about the expertise I'm bringing on my team.
Yeah, yeah. And as a writer, we haven't talked about this, but I'm a writer, and among other things, and I use AI, but not as as to actually create the content, but to do some of the backstory in the content. It's things like, if you get hit by lightning on a beach and the lightning strikes 50 yards away, how does that feel? And AI can tell me that.
Yeah.
It's not going to write about it, but it can tell me how that feels. And that's the good thing about AI. And it can be very, very, very useful.
Yeah, indeed. Tell me about the writing. You have a book coming out, or that just came out?
No, I've written 11 books. My first 10 books are all about business, and they're behavioral kinds of books about how to act, what to do, what not to do. And my most recent business book was called, the title is Never Say Whatever. And it's about how important decision making is. And whenever you say whatever, you're not making a decision. But my latest book is about developing a vineyard, which has nothing to do with life sciences, but was interesting.
I don't know, growing grapes, and I mean,
Growing
there's
grapes.
some
Yeah.
science to that,
Well, I think drinking wine after the conference might be the more
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 important
important part of
thing.
all
Yeah,
this.
yeah. Well, that's interesting. I'll have to look at some of those books, and it sounds like solving problems, understanding how to define, what you're really targeting is something that's kind of a theme that I've heard from you
Yeah.
today.
My theme is business doesn't need to be complicated, but we make it complicated. So I try to boil it all down to some pretty simple and basic issues, and the decisions around those.
Yeah. And so, do you have any goals that you're looking to accomplish this week at the QNova Forum or the greater JP Morgan conference?
Um, you know, I'm in the business of collecting people, and you can't get a more robust uh, chest from which you can find people to collect, add to your collection.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I'm a recruiter by training, so I'm collecting people all the time.
Yeah,
20 years of it. So I love that. I love that analogy of collecting people.
yeah.
Yeah, and building the relationships and fostering those relationships.
And the conference is just starting, but I've already developed some relationships and made new friends, and that's what we're here for.
That's great. Well, I hope that we can build on this relationship. I love everything you're building on. The foundation of identifying the right problem, keeping it simple, and putting people and talent first. I think it's a good recipe. I'm
Great.
excited to see some of the companies that you and Jim are going to
Yeah,
be building in, and it sounds like quickly exiting from
yeah,
too.
yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you for talking to me
Yeah,
today.
thanks, Chris.
I hope you have a really successful rest of the conference, and it was really nice chatting with
Great.
you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. It's Chris Frew with BioBuzz. Thanks for joining us.